Introductions should be snappy, right? So let's do a German crocodile. Schneel, schnall, schnappi, schnappy, schnappy, schnoop. Nah, that's not gonna be a winner either. I mean, that German crocodile who lives by the Nile is sure amusing if your mother tongue is Swedish, and if you are, I'm sure you understand why, and if you are not, it wouldn't be appreciated by the YouTube algorithms, I think, if I try to explain why. So I will just leave it at that and bid you all welcome back to my channel and our roleplay playthrough as King Frej of Sweden, House Corp. In the last episode we managed to, for now at least, secure our son's place as the next king in the Scandinavian elective system, and we also held a bloat. And now we are going to raise a runestone, because that's always fun. It cost us just only 50 gold. Rocks through the ages. Subject. We've read this in a previous episode, and we have some options here about what to carve on the stone. So I could let it speak of my vanquished foe, Chieftain Björn, who was the former king of Sweden that we usurped the throne from. Or it could speak on a similar matter, which is my accession to the throne of Sweden. Or we could change mind and don't do the runestone, but we are here because we want to carve a runestone. I think I wanted to speak of my accession to the throne of Sweden. The runestone will speak of how you came to rule. That's a good subject for the king and the kingdom, so let's do that. And we get to choose a location for the stone. And Västergötland is our main holding, and a stone there will increase the levy size, which is good because our largest levy is from Västergötland, so Västergötland makes a fine choice for this stone that will stand there until present day, so I can go on a little trip to watch it someday maybe. And now let's go raiding, because you know what? Here is Lotharingia with use a coastline to raid, and he's not that strong, and he was also he's winning in his war where he's in his civil war against Duchess Engeltrudis. But anyway, it seems like an opportunity that we cannot pass by. So raise all us raiders. Here we are, gathering in Västergötland. I always have problems actually hitting the right spot. That's what she said. But anyway, here we are. Troops are gathered. Who should lead? At the moment, it's one of our vassals, Chieftain Ragnar. Is he the best one? He's so reckless. Oh yeah, he's the holy warrior. He's a great commander, but I think we want our favorite commander is for Aki of Beppenberg to lead at least on the way down there, because he has the organizer trait, which means that he is going to get us there faster. Here, the Barony of Haarlem, and Barony of Amsterdam, they are close together. Let's go there. There's plenty of loot, and hopefully there are local castles as well, where we could capture ourselves some hostages. My boring and incompetent spy master has not been able to uncover any secrets at Björn's court. That's no surprise. Very well, you know best. No, he doesn't, because Jarl Rykulfur of Östergötland is not that competent as spy master, at least. Very well, you know best. We have our son on the... stop, pause the game. What is this? There's a battle going on. We don't want to take part in that. I don't know who these forces are. It looks like it's an army getting rid of some raiders. We should be alright to... We don't want to jump straight into the fray here, but we should be alright to start raiding. Let's see if they turn hostile. Yes, they did. But are they gonna engage us? That's the question. No, they are running away because we have a much larger force. So Jarl Sigurdur of Jylland has conquered some territory. Oh, what's this? It's an event about my son there. Dear Odin, go outside. It's late and I'm tucking into a gripping treatise on classical grammar, just as I start giggling at some delightfully snide marginalia left by the previous reader. My wife enters the room. Spineless man, you neglect everything but your studies, reading indoors alone from dusk to dawn. Get your head out of those dusty scrolls or don't come to my bed tonight, she says. That's a threat the king takes seriously. So we can say as you wish, which will gain us fertility and attraction option and also increase the queen's opinion of us. Or we could, I have to work late to prepare lessons for dear Stark Adar, which will increase our son and heir's learning and opinion of me. Or I need not lay with you, I have the warm embrace of knowledge. That would give us learning and lifestyle experience. But as you know, I have made a point of stressing out how lustful the king is during my previous playthroughs, and I've also made a point of saying that he's not only married to Queen Seafair, they are lovers and soulmates. So I don't think that she should come threatening like this. It would be nicer of her if she tried to flirt with us instead. The king would surely go for that, and I'm having a spine reaction. Do you say that in English? As that when someone comes demanding something and threatening that you will not get what you want from them if you don't do as they say. I don't like that, and it tells me to just to say no. And if I would say no, I would say I need not lay with you. But the king is a lustful man, so he really wants to lay with her queen, with his queen. So as you wish. I'm gonna cut this part out, I think, because I'm just mumbling more than usual. Here's another event. It's my son. Praise Freya. Giselle has given birth to a perfect little son. Who will you become, my child, and what shall I call you? So this could be possibly the next king of France, or any of those 13 claims that his mother has. So we should give him a name fitting for a king, I think. So right, we are deciding that Princess Giselle here gets to, because we want to be in her good graces, we abducted her and made her concubine against her will after all, so we are trying to get her to like us, which means that she can name this little boy, and she wants to name him after her grandfather, King Charles the Bald. And Carl is actually the Nordic version of Charles, so let's go with Carl. It's the same name, but it's more fitting for our environments. Maybe grow to be strong and wise, my son. And our raiders have raided this. Oh, someone raided that. Let's go to the city of Alkmaar and raid. It's too bad someone beat us to the Harlem here, but we at least raided Amsterdam. City of Alkmaar is in for a raiding. Someone created a faction against me, I have to see about that. Let's go to Barony of Dokkum. A sensual proposal from my courtier Gyruder. Wherever I go, my courtier Gyruder is sure to follow. That look in her eyes, the words on her lips, I know exactly what she's after. So this is the wife of Collar, my champion, and if I remember correctly, in a previous episode she performed at court and sang a song about love and desire, which I knew was dedicated to me. So Gyruda here, she is a herbalist, she's a gluttonous, forgiving and cynical person. So we kind of like each other, I think. We are both cynical. Will I keep Gyruda close, very close? Or a distraction for tonight, but nothing more? Or there are some options to decline, which the lustful queen surely wouldn't do. I mean, he loves his wife and he likes his concubines, but you know, when opportunity arises and there comes a perfectly good woman who wants to lay with him, he is at least going for a distraction for tonight, but nothing more. There's nothing to say that the king is in love with her or wants her to be his lover, but he sure cannot resist to visit her chambers. And we got a love letter. Your love is the balm for my very soul. I would be blessed if I could hear your voice again, that I may know the radiant aura of your soul. Please be the Cleopatra to my Marcus Antonius. The appreciation I feel towards Gyruda for writing me such a poem pales in comparison to the passion with which I thank her. So the king is a real learned guy, but I don't know that anyone up here in the north would know about Cleopatra and Marcus Antonius. Well, maybe some people have heard the stories from the former Roman Empire, but anyway, it's a love letter and we are flattered. And it ends Gyruda's seduction scheme against us. So she has had a personal scheme to seduce us, and she succeeded in so far that she got to spend the night with the king. It was as sweet as it was fleeting. Oh, and yeah, what's this? It's a ransom. Oh yeah, we've captured more hostages. Valdigar Aleidison, Folkvalding. Valdigar Aleidison, Folkvalding. He's a Dutch Catholic, so I suppose this is Dutch. I once knew a Dutch woman who I really liked, but when she was angry she sounded like just like the Dutch language. I will make a habit of making fun of other languages because I'm so eloquent and well spoken myself that I can do that from a position high up. But anyway, Valger here is the son of Count Radbud, and he wants him back, and why not? He's willing to pay us 50 for him. Let's see if we have more prisoners to ransom. Only the ones we've had since before. Let's go raid Dockham. Oh, my language scheme. It's a success. After lots of hard work, I finally learned the real vulgar language. Endless hours practicing accentuation, sleepless nights, mimicking inflection, countless lessons mastering intonation. It was all worth it in the end. During my efforts, I looked to emulate Giselle's accent. I am sure that she would be impressed with my results. And of course, French peasants now respect me a great deal more. So how does our concubine Princess Giselle of West Francia feel about this? Does it in any way improve her opinion? Doesn't say that it does, but I'm sure it will. I feel accomplished. Or perhaps I should send a letter in Duil Vulgar to Giselle, which will be a diplomacy challenge that might improve her opinion of us. And that's surely what we will do, because we like to show off our new skills, and we also want Giselle to dislike us a bit less than she currently do. So I impressed Giselle with my knowledge of Duil Vulgar. She gained 25 opinion of us, and now she has a positive opinion of us. Can we convert her? Yes, she has grown to accept her new life up here in Scandinavia amongst the Norse, so much that she is willing to renounce her Catholic faith and become asatro and pay homage to the Norse gods. We will do that. It should be fun when the news reaches her brother, King Louis the Stammer of West Francia, that his sister now is a heathen in his eyes. Demand conversion. Giselle converted. Oh, now it improved her opinion of us even more. Now she really likes it here. I like this plot with Giselle here. What is there more things we can do? Can we? We could try to seduce her and make her our lover, but she's already our concubine, and the love of the king's life is his wife. They are lovers and soulmates, and he's a lustful guy, but he doesn't feel. He's happy that she now likes him and that she has grown to accept her place here amongst us, but he doesn't feel the need to have her as a lover. Let's see if I can do some scheming with the former king instead. No, it's not. I can murder him, but the king wouldn't. He's not inclined to do that, not without more reasons to do so. So instead, let's take a look if there are vassals who needs to think better of us. They all kind of like us a lot, but surely there's someone who we could try to, just because if they have a high opinion of us, they are more likely to want to see our son on the throne. So let's start swaying them to our way of thinking. Should I invite some more champions? Not for now. I don't feel that I need them just at the moment. It's always good to have champions around, but let's continue raiding. What is there more to raid? I gained the trait Adulterer. The child of mine, my courtier Girder, has been showing the signs of pregnancy for some time now, and my suspicions about me being the father of the child has grown in tandem with her stomach. Now I know for certain, as does the rest of the realm, the child is mine. So Girder here, who seduced us, is pregnant, and I am the father. It is better this way, surely. And she will give birth to a child that will be conceived outside of wedlock, which would mean that it would be called a bastard. Could be interesting. And I capture some. Let's see. It's always good to ransom these people. Count Vemunder here is willing to pay 50 for his own ransom. Let's do it. And he's also willing to pay 10 for his poor little daughter Gertrude Vermunderdochter. When he is safely home himself, I suppose, because it was grayed out. Oh, here, it's this. I've had this map event several times before. Trusting me, this is more interesting. It's about my daughter, my favorite, the favorite amongst my children, the apple of my eye, little Order Frejsdotter, the trusting, charming, and quick little girl. She's now 9 years old. What does she want? She's been asking me for a doll for a long time, and I told her I would get one for her in 3 months if she displayed more focus in her studies. Ever since I made a promise, she has been redoubling the efforts in her studies. So there are two options: to deceive her and not give her the doll. But like I said, the king really loves this little girl, And I would never deceive your order with, oh, it's about her traits, which means if she gains the trait trusting, if I do this, whereas if I wanted to mold her in a different way, I could do some of those options and give her different traits, but this is in line with the king's feelings towards his daughter and his personality, so it's the obvious choice that he will give his daughter the doll he promised her. And yeah, I was gonna look into, can I have her study language, or maybe my son here. I seem to remember that you could choose which way your child's education would go, but maybe that's when they grow older. But I will try to get my son to learn Duil Vulgar from Giselle as well. Because we want to know the tongue of the people we are plundering and raiding down here. It sure will come in handy when we are asking them, where's the loot? Where's the loot at? You French. I will not say anymore. I like French people, but I'm sure you understand, it's all in jest. The education of my children, she's the oldest one. Does she have any... At some point they get these... Yeah, here this intrigue education is her focus. Rowdy children often do well with intrigue education, so it's fitting. I kind of want her to be a shield maiden though. So maybe I should change it to martial, because her guardian, I seem to remember, is a really good strategist and has good martial skill, so, and she's also shy and humble, which doesn't gel well with an intriguing education. So I will choose focus for her to be a martial character. And what about my little Auda here? She also has an intrigue education, which is good for a charming child, but she is trusting, which perhaps isn't the best for intrigue. I am her guardian, so maybe I should mold her into a diplomat instead. It's also good for charming children and being trusting, I think. Yeah, trusting gives bonus to diplomacy and minus to intrigue, so let's try to give her a diplomacy education. And what about my son? He is curious and quick. He is learning focused, so he could be a diplomat or learning. I mean, I am a learned guy, but so it would seem the obvious choice to mold her into learned character as well. Although it would be also be fun to have our next in line to not have the same focus as we do. So let's give him a diplomacy education. I will get back to look into my younger offspring's education when they come of age. But for now, let's continue with our raids. There doesn't seem to be anyone here in these lands who is going to oppose us, so we can raid as we please. Chieftain Vagn has invited me to his court in Kalmar for a feast. It will be my pleasure. A warm welcome from Chieftain Vagn, and I look forward to it. We are raiding down here in Holland, but the king apparently is the feast at his vassals, the innuendo. I know what I said, I just don't understand why you find it so funny. Chieftain Vagn cocks his head to the side while I withhold my chortle. I haven't told him that what he said could be interpreted as something lewd. She had a lovely chest on display in the courtroom. That's what Chieftain Vagn said. And I understand that the king thought that this was funny. Let's continue reading the event. I may not be alone in thinking this is funny either. Chieftain Alfred spat out some of a drink when Chieftain Vagn repeated himself. The two could share the same kind of crude humor as I, or they could be offended by it. I won't know what either thinks unless I speak up. So Chieftain Vagn here said she had a lovely chest on display in the courtroom, and I, the king, and Chieftain Alfred here, his wife, thought it was funny. And what will the king do? He could say, hey, never mind, or he could say, repeat what you said but slowly, really think about it, which will mean that I take a chance of embarrassing Chieftain Vagn, hoping that he shared the same kind of humor, which I'm sure that I don't think he does, but I think that's what the king would say. Repeat what you said, but slowly, really think about it. And then Chieftain Vagn will repeat, she had a lovely chest on display in the courtroom. And I will laugh. Chieftain Vagn is mortified by your perverse humor. No, alright, he's one of those guys. I know where I have you now, Chieftain Vagn. Me and the king share the same sense of humor, I think. The feast continues. The conversion partner. As one plate of food is replaced by the next, my acquaintance Chieftain Alfred goes on and on about the blessings of marriage. And that was how we salvaged that mess. Are you sure I am not boring you, my lord? So I'm conversing with Chieftain Alfred here, and I could say, no, please do go on, or why don't we talk more about you instead? I think that I would be more interested in her talking about herself than talking about the blessings of marriage, so let's go with that option. Took another prisoner here, and I got on the perk and luck. Let's start with ransoming. Here's a count, Meginad Wishmanson of Zutphen, who will pay 50 for his release. And here's little Gertrude, who will pay, her father will pay 10 for her. So let's do that. And let's see about our learning lifestyle. I will choose Know Thyself, which means that when death of natural causes is 1 year away, you will receive a warning. So the king will know his health and body well enough to feel that it's time to depart from this world and go to Valhalla and feast with the gods. It could be good because as long as he doesn't die in battle or get murdered, we will have some time to prepare for the succession and place our son in a good place. Here we have another event. It's the feast and I'm returning home. Farewell, my steward. It was a good feast, even though you doesn't have a sense of humor. The Corp family on ice. Pa, cries Starkadder, tugging at my sleeve almost as soon as I enter the snowbound courtyard. Snow. I don't know why I have get stuck on some of the words. Let's start over. Pa, cries Starkadder, tugging at my sleeve almost as soon as I enter the snowbound courtyard. It's no good. I'm useless. I can't skate. The ice hates me. A speedy glance suggests that he might be right. The place looks like an army's march through it, with the amount of shattered ice my son has left in his wake. So my son is trying to ice skate, and it's not going well for him. And the king can say, "It's easy, here, let me explain it to you," or "Don't we have maids for you to pester?" or "Go play indoors, you'll catch a cold." I think the king would want to teach his son how to ice skate. Let's go for that option. Starkadder gains confidence and balance. That is good. Was a good choice of us. Or a guardian for little Gerda Corp, who's my daughter, with a concubine that is dead. Yeah, she's the one that died when giving birth to little Gerda here. Who is Gerda? I haven't really gotten to know her. She's curious. And she is in the diplomacy education. Do we have any? Yeah, let's have Jatvader, our trusted chancellor, educate her. And let's continue raiding. We are really filling our coffers down here in the Dutch lowlands. Let's go for the... Oh, here's a barony of Cologne, which is where there's 24 loot to be had. Let's go burn it to the ground and take everything they have. Let's raid and raid and raid. Out of wedlock, Gyruder has given birth to our son. Though I ought to be joyful, my heart is heavy with doubt and fear. So it will stay until I have made my decision. So here's little Svein Korp, who is my bastard son, with this woman who seduced me. And will the king legitimize him and spend prestige? And also put him in place to inherit, which he won't inherit if he's considered a bastard, but a legitimized bastard will. Or will he go with, I cannot dishonor my family by legitimizing a bastard? So I think that, let's see, he's cynical, patient, generous and lustful. So generous is an argument for choosing to legitimize him, whereas cynical is tells me that he would think that that it is best if little Svein here stays out of the inheritance, and he also doesn't want to further anger her wife and soulmate. So I will not legitimize little Svein. He can be a bastard and maybe go on an adventure and conquer his own lands someday, and maybe or more likely his elder brother will help him with that, but for now let's not legitimize little Svein here. I took another prisoner. Reina. She's just a courtier, but she will pay me 10 to be released. Sure. We have Countess here. Countess Godilla of Dockum. Her husband cannot afford for the ransom of 25. Let's wait for him to earn this money to get his wife back. I don't want to go through attrition while raiding, so let's continue here along the river. We are really having an easy time here. The king of Lotharingia is weak and occupied with other matters, so he's not doing anything to stop us from burning down all his lands and taking all that we can carry along the way. We have finished the construction and I want to further improve my capital, so let's do it. Can I improve the longhouse? Yes, I can. I really like the longhouse building, so let's upgrade it. It will take 4 years and then we'll see about building war camps there, but let's continue raiding here. We still have room for more loot in our raiding party. Let's burn everything. We're just marching along here, taking what we can. Oh, it looks like he's finally trying to get a force together, or maybe it was an army from one of the wars going on here. Groningen. Where's the best loot? There is some up here. Let's go. Someone is retreating from a battle lost. Groningen. Let's loot it. We are nearly at the full capacity of loot in our longships. Let's see how much ore it is in good time, because here comes a sizable force to try and intercept us. They will be there in 10 days, whereas it will take us some time to embark. So let's try and outrun them by going this way. Because we don't want to engage with them if we don't have to. Maybe now we can disappear out at sea. Yeah, I hope so. Run! There's a scheme at court. Someone is plotting to kill my wife. That is not good. We must stop the villain behind this. We surely must. Oh no, he is catching up. Let's see if we have a better commander. Yeah, let's go with Rolf Runvaldsson of Hälsingland, because he has the Holy Warrior trait, which gives us an advantage when fighting against another religion. But it still looks like we're going to lose. I hope we don't lose all our loot. And they wounded our champion. It's an even battle, but it looks like we are losing. Let's see if we can retreat. No, I lost all my. They took back all the loot I had, over almost 250 loot in the coffers, and losing that battle, they took it all back. That's too bad. Maybe we should have maneuvered better and tried to get into the woods here, or you know. But we tried to disembark and go on our longships, but they caught up with us, and all this looting and raiding was for nothing. Well, I mean, we got some hostages that were ransomed for gold, but it's still that wasn't a success. I thought we were undisturbed here for so long. I never thought that they would assemble an army to engage us, but they did, and we lost. And now they are carrying home everything we took, and I bet that they are not going to give it back to the people here that we looted. I think that King Lothar of Lotharingia himself will take it, and but we will be back someday with a vengeance. I promise you that. Let's take a look at this event here involving my favorite daughter, Order. Following the death sentence of a lowly thief, I asked my daughter Order what she thought. She responded that the sentence was far too harsh for such a small crime. Oh, and I could tell her the punishment did indeed not fit the crime, which means that she gets the trait just. Or I can say this is a lesson of moderation in all things, which will give me stress, and Order the trait temperate. I think that the king, even though he doesn't have the trait just himself, will go with the first option. The punishment did indeed not fit the crime. It wasn't fair to execute someone for stealing a chicken or a piece of bread or whatever it was this lowly thief took. Here's our army on the retreat, beaten, ragged. Where are we retreating to? Here. Well, that sure wasn't a successful excursion. Our plundering in Lotharingia. We lost the battle and lost all our loot. And with that, I will say thank you for watching, and I hope I see you in the next playthrough, where we will think about what to do with these raiders and the further future of our kingdom here. So again, thank you and goodbye.